So now that we have our FreeTaxUSA account set up and we've got all of our personal information set up in there, we're going to start actually putting in the numbers. Now, a quick note here, in this course, I don't really focus on putting the non-business income into the software. That's just because I think FreeTaxUSA does a fantastic job of making that as easy as possible. That being said, as always, if you have any questions or any problems with putting in the non-business stuff or anything that I don't cover in the tutorials, you are always more than welcome to DM me or make a post in the school community and someone will help you out. That said, let's hop straight in. So the first portion of non-business income that we're going to walk into is our Form W-2. Now, if you have a regular job outside of your business or your side gig as well, this is going to be what your employer sends you at the end of the year, most likely in mid to late February. This is that W-2 that I talked about earlier in the course. Don't mind the fact that that says 2017 or California right here. I'm going to be changing those around as I go through, but I wanted to have an example for you guys to sort of walk through side by side. So if you do have a W-2, you'll hit yes. If you do not, you can hit I don't have any W-2s and hit continue. Your life just got a million times easier. We are going to say that we do have a W-2, and this is what that is going to be and the questions that FreeTaxUSA is going to ask. Looks like a lot. I promise it's not, but we'll go through line by line, box by box to make sure everything looks all good. So first up is the employer identification number. This is that EIN that your employer has. So if we go back to here, it is going to be in box B. Quick note on this, W-2s do sort of shift around the arrangement of the boxes a lot of times. So just make sure you're looking for box B that says EIN. It'll have two numbers, a dash, sometimes, most of the time, and then a bunch of other numbers after that. Don't put in your social security number. That's not what it's asking for. It's asking for this number right here. So this is a nice simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not going to be like that, just so you know. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The employer's name, the address, and the zip code. So I'll go ahead and fill this out right now. And here is that completed right here. I'm just pulling from this box right here. Again, do not put in your personal information. Just put in the employer information. This is where we start putting in the numbers. So definitely be very careful when you're typing in these numbers just to make sure everything's right. There will most likely be another screen after all of this to make sure we confirm that all the numbers are correct. But just so we are aware, make sure you are very careful putting these numbers in because this is the super important stuff. Starting with box 1, wages and tips right here. If we go over to our W-2 right here, box 1 is going to say wages, tips, and other compensation. In our case, it is $48,500, so it's going to be $48,500. Our next box is box 2, the federal income tax withheld. This is the amount of tax that your employer paid on your behalf, just sort of directly out of your paychecks as the year went on. In our case, it is $68,35, so this will be $68,35. Social security wages in box 3. Most of the time, these are identical. If these two things are not the same, no need to worry. The difference will be tucked away in these line 12 items right here. So our social security wages is $50,000, so I will type in $50,000 right here. Social security tax withheld in box 4, that is going to be $3,100, so I'll type in $3,100, and you'll just go box by box, line by line. There's always going to be these numbers right here, so regardless of how your W-2 is oriented, you will always be able to find the box number or the line number right here. So I will go ahead and fill out the rest of these. And here is this box 12 thing that I was talking about, this right here. Again, these codes just correspond to special plans or deductions that your employer has. It could be health insurance, it could be life insurance, it could be a 401k deferral, it could be an IRA deferral, all of this wonderful fun stuff. No need to memorize what these are. We just care about putting in the amounts. So this first one is a code D with $1,500 right here. So code D is 401k contributions. Our next code is double D with 1,000. So we will have the two D's down here with 1,000. And our last one is a code P with 4,800. So I'll add another item. I'll go to P, which is moving expenses. I will say 4,800 right here. Box 13, this is going to be very close to box 12. This will just have 3 check marks right here, or 3 boxes, I should say, because we have this 401k deferral right here. We do have a retirement plan set up, so we are going to check the retirement plan box right here. In box 14, we don't have anything in 14 right here. The majority of the stuff in this box 14 is just going to be specific to your state. So if there are special codes in here, it'll be like co, family, dash, and then amount. You'll put the co-family in here if you are in Colorado, and you will put the amount right here, which will be like, let's say 100. So because our example W2 doesn't have that, I'm not going to put anything in, but if you do have that, that is where that will go in. Moving on to the state and local tax information right here. If you live in one of those special states that I talked about earlier in the course, this won't really matter for you. You might have like a Florida or an FL or a TX right here. It'll show an ID number right here. This number will most likely be identical to one of these, so box 1 or box 3 right here. If you are living in one of those states, this box right here will either say 0 because you don't have any state income tax, or it'll say like not applicable, unknown, undefined, etc. It just depends on who's creating your W-2s. But in our case, I'm going to change this to Colorado just so I don't have to worry about my address not matching California. We'll go to the state information right here. I'm living in Colorado. Our employer ID number is 1234. Our state wages was $50,000 right here. Our state income tax, box 17, was $1,535. Our local wages, a lot of the time, these will also be blank. Some, depending on which city or county you are working in and not necessarily living in, there will also be local wages as well. So if you do have this, don't be worried. We'll just be putting it into these last 3 boxes right here. In our case, we do have that. So box 18, the local wages is $50,000 right here. Our local income tax was $750, and our locality name was MU. Our other information, this is a standard W-2, the most common. If it was handwritten or altered or corrected, you would say yes down here. If it was one of these, we'd say non-standard, but this is a standard W-2, which most people have. It is the most common. So we'll hit save and continue right here. Once we hit continue, we'll get on this double check your payer info box right here. We'll just double check that we put in our box B correctly here. Our employer's name is correct here. All right, our next section right here, we'll talk about that local or that city tax that I talked about. This is this 18, 19, and 20 right here. In most cases, there will be nothing in these boxes right here, so you won't have to worry about it, but this will just ask you to double check these numbers and say, yep, this was in Colorado or whatever state that that locality or that city is in. So I'll hit save and continue, and here is our W-2 right here. Now, if you have multiple jobs, you'll hit add W-2, and you'll just go through that process for every W-2 that you have. I'm only going to use this one example right here, but again, if you have multiple jobs, you'll just be putting in multiple W-2s. Now, moving past this, we are on to the rest of our incomes right here. Now, we are going to stick in this common income section right here. We are done with this W-2. The other ones that I will talk about are interest, dividends, and then if you have a retirement account from Fidelity or something like that, one of those year-end statements. So if you have a 1099 INT, which is for interest, a DIV, which is for dividends, a B, which is for selling stocks and stuff like that, or a consolidated 1099, which looks like this, you will want to go into Start. After we hit start, we will ask about the different kind of investment income that we have right here. If you received a 1099 interest from a bank account that was paying you interest on like a savings account sort of thing, or a dividend distribution from any kind of brokerage account for stocks that you might have, you will say, I'd like to add an investment. I would have interest. I would have dividends. I would have stock sales. Any of this stuff right here. Let's say I just have interest, save and continue, and you'll just go through kind of the same process with the W-2 of just putting in the information that is on your 1099 INT right here. I bring this up right here because I've seen a lot of these. If you have any kind of retirement account with your employer or something like that, you most likely have a Fidelity account as well. Fidelity likes to take all of these individual tax documents, so these dividends and the interest and stuff like that, and pack that onto one page. That is very, very nice. However, a lot of people don't know to look for the specific line items. So if you do have a Fidelity account or a Charles Schwab account or something like that, and you get one of these tax reporting statements, I would reach out in the school community just to have someone look everything over. But when you are going through this section of the FreeTaxUSA screen right here, for every sort of gray box that you see right here, you'll see, okay, this is the 1099 dividends right here. If these numbers, which is blocked by the blue square, are non-zero, we'll just go into, yep, I have a a dividend statement right here. I will say Fidelity, spelled very incorrectly, don't mind that. And you'll just go through the process of putting in all of these numbers. Right below that, there will be an interest statement. And then if you have a 1099B, that is for stock sales. So you'll just go through the process of putting those in. That being said, those are going to be really the only kind of personal income things that I'm going to discuss in this course. If you have other stuff or other questions that I did not discuss in this course, you are always more than welcome to make a post in the school community or shoot me a DM, and I will be happy to answer any questions that you might have. With all that being done, our next step is going to be putting in our business income and all of our business expenses right here, the real meat and potatoes of everything, which we will get into in the next video. So by now we have a FreeTaxUSA account, we have put in our personal information, we've put in all of our other income that is not business income. In the next lesson, I'm going to go over exactly how you should do your business portion of the taxes. I'm going to walk you through the exact process I've used on the hundreds of clients I've worked with to save them tens of thousands of dollars in taxes, so you can do the same for yourself completely for free. I will see you then.